This show is brought to you by DF Studios Limited. Whether you're a business owner or entrepreneur, DF Studios will guide and assist you on the best ways to promote your brand digitally, in addition to creating visitor and customer generating content like blogs, social media posts, videos, and even podcasts like this one you're listening to right now. Visit dfstudiosltd.com or hit up info@dfstudiosltd.com for more info. Okay, so let's talk about let's jump into the Oscar race again now, because we did it last week with Argentina 985.
Right.
Let's talk about Causeway, right? A show that I heard about a few months ago, but the only reason why honestly I wanted to see this is because we boy Paperboy, all about that Paperboy. Yes, got his first Oscar nom. So yes, he and Lakeith Stanfield are in the Atlanta Star third Oscar nominee club. So it's just for Donald Glover and Zazie Beetz to follow suit, right? I mean, it's not like they're working on Atlanta, right? So I mean, why not? Let them do the same thing, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the reason why I watch this, right? Because Brian Tyree Henry, got his first nom, right?
Right.
Also speaking of Oscar, of Oscar nominee, and also Star McGill, Jennifer Lawrence, right? Who I have not seen in a long while. Well, I should say last time I saw her was
I'm surprised she popped up because
which I
because
never
production.
Right. Yes. Right. Yeah. This is actually through her first her first production company called Excellent Cadaver, right?
Yeah.
And on the subject of first, this is actually the debut feature by Lila Nugbor. If I got the surname wrong, forgive me, right? She had a start in theater, so she's a theater director and writer, right? And yeah, this is actually her debut feature, right? And I actually thought just get it all the way. Yeah, she did a really solid job with this one, right?
Yeah.
But in a nutshell, what it's about, right? So we introduced Jennifer Lawrence, right? She plays Lindsay. We learned, we really had to take a while to find for the film to give us this information, right? But she is a U.S. soldier, right? She left
Iraq vet.
I should say,
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan, right? She was discharged because she had this brain injury. So where the film opens is her more or less going through physiotherapy and not just physiotherapy, but more like psychological therapy as well too. Just because it was a really traumatic event that she went through, right? It was an ID based event, right? So early on, she has to go back home to New Orleans, right? So early in the film, we see her go through this rehabilitation, right? And then, from there now she's discharged. Well, at least the caregiver who's there, gives her a clean bill of health, if you will. Ever so often she goes by this doctor who is played by my boy Stephen McKinley Henderson. I was like, hey, you this, you from Fences and other shows that I've seen you in. Yeah, would right. So so she's discharged, but her being her, I got some Hurt Locker vibes from this. She's like, yeah, I want to go back. I want to go back, to the Marines or whatever it is, right? She want to go back to the army, right? And everybody right now, first off, her mom, right, who's played by Linda Emon, she's like, well, no, I mean, look at what you went through, but they actually kind of explain why she wants to go back, right? And this actually makes for a great bit of character development where she feels kind of stunted, right, in terms of like just being in New Orleans, right? She feels like she has no room to grow or breathe or just be who she is. She feels like like she just like her life is just being wasted, right? And that's really one of the main reasons, I should say, the main reason why she left home to begin with, right? So yeah, through some circumstances, Lindsay gets his job, cleaning pools, right? And this is one particular pool that she goes to because the owners left for vacation or whatever it is. And through some circumstances, well, actually, it's through her car just giving trouble. She runs into Brian Tyree Henry's character, who's named James, right? And he himself, he has a prosthetic leg, and we learn how and why it has to do with a car accident, but something equally traumatic as well. And yeah, they just form this reluctantly, I should say, form this friendship, right? They learn a lot about each other and their struggles and pains and whatnot. And throughout the show, they kind of have to pick themselves up because they can't really go about life on their own, right? They kind of learn this about themselves, right? And they need that companionship, right? They've been loners for a long while, and at the heart of it all is just really about them just kind of accepted the fact that they just need to be not so much need each other, but they need to be around people. They need to open themselves up to other people and be friendly, right? Because that is what's gonna help in terms of that's gonna help in the process, sorry, of just them getting over this pain that they have to live with for the rest of their lives, right? So yeah, Ricardo, your thoughts on Causeway?
Yeah, I liked it. I didn't love it. I didn't see this. I only knew about it because of Paperboy, but I never got around to seeing it. And it was on Apple TV, just staring me in the face, watching it now. Like,
Yeah.
I want to watch this boy. But then when I see my boy get nominated, I'm like, I would.
Yeah.
I will take that
Honestly,
chance.
what are you talking about his performance?
He was okay, right? I didn't love it, but he was okay. It's like, all right, I get what they're going for. The shared trauma conceit works for the most part. But I couldn't really. Again, it's one of those things that if you don't have your own conceit or your own share of it, you won't love it too much. That is my main thing. Is like I get it and I appreciate it, but it didn't stick with me. It's one of those now. But it's good.
Is it that you had to relate it or you had to know somebody who went through that?
I personally just couldn't relate it, given the nature of the thing. It's like how traumatized people have a shared conceit. But it works. And Jennifer Lawrence and him had great chemistry with each other, surprisingly. I thought they would have, not bounce off each other, and they did. They did quite well, actually. But yeah, I was just surprised at this because, again, I saw it. I was like, okay, my boy Paperboy in it, but I didn't think he would get nominated for it. I was like, quite surprised. But like watching it and seeing it in the contest as a best supporting, yeah, it kind of works. I could kind of understand why you get best supporting for it, and not in the category. I don't think he's the best or anything like that. But I kind of get why you get nominated. I kind of understand, and it's more Apple pushing themselves more than anything, right? Like Apple is the company that end up betting on for all of this. Is a smart call ultimately.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and also third film that E24 involved in, right? That with an Oscar nom driving it, right?
Right, exactly. So it's all of that. Yeah, I didn't expect to wait. I was surprised at this, to be honest. That's all I'll say. So yeah.
All right. Well, for me, in the most part, I enjoyed it for what it is, right? But what I would say, it's one of those simple films, right? It's quiet. That's the best way I could describe it. There's not a lot of, big events and anything spectacular happening. It's just this quiet film, with these characters, just like day to day kind of surviving and learning about the world and learning about themselves and, learning about each other. That would be, Lindsay and James, right? It's like that, right? So no, if you're expecting some gut wrenching drama, you're not gonna get that, right? It's not that type of show. It's just these characters who just have to grow and just they kind of have to grow basically through attachment. That's really what it is, right? True friendship, right? And that's what it is. It's simple. It's to the point. It doesn't overstay its welcome at all. It's like what,
Right.
hour and a half. And yeah, it just kind of does what it does, right? Jennifer Lawrence, I mean, you can't expect that she's gonna knock it out the park, and yeah, she's great in this, for the character that she's given, right? Very wedded down in terms of her character and whatnot, but when she opens up, it's plausible and makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Same thing goes with Brian Tyree Henry, right? And yes, I do understand, why he was nominated and whatnot. And not saying that he gives, a amazing, stellar performance, right? But for what he was given, yeah, he killed it, man. He knocked out the park, man. And I do see a future for him doing these down to earth dramatic roles. I could see him doing that, right? Yeah, he could do the kind of snarky, like he could do the kind of comedic roles, like like case in point, like you remember last year he was in Bullet Train, so he could do that. He could do stuff like that where like it's comedic, but not really comedic in a sense. Like he's not trying to be funny with the way how he moves, and especially with that Cockney accent that he has, you laugh at him.
Right.
It's like that, right? But the point is, I don't want him to just do comedy for the rest of his life, right? So yeah, I think that he could he have a nice he could fit very nicely with drama, right? And just off this performance alone, right? It's not saying that I've seen a majority of his performances, prior to this, but yeah, I think that he has a bright future as far as drama goes, right? As far as as I mentioned, E24, right? This pretty much gives me an idea of what to expect with the wheel. Like I have a feeling that the wheel is going to be like this in a sense, the kind of slow, quiet kind of film. Like not a lot going on, but it's more about the characters and what they're going through. I kind of getting that vibe here with like I have a feeling this is what the wheel is going to be like. Causeway is just a hint of what to expect, right? But yeah, again, it's that type of show. So if you're not into that and you just want more, if you're expecting more things to happen in shows like this, yeah, you'll be disappointed, right? Um, as far as direction goes, yeah, Lila does her thing, right? Like, and then, it's not like you'll see some kind of amazing, Creed shot or whatever it is, but the shots themselves, composition, framing, all that kind of stuff, blocking, you could tell it's well thought out and whatnot, right? It's a debut feature, so I'm not expecting her to just knock it, just give us something totally amazing. Again, given what the story is, right? And the story, just in closing, is simple to the point. You get the gist of what's going on. You will walk out of it, kind of feel like you're okay. Yes, you've been through this sort of emotional journey with these characters. It's not one, honestly, that I will remember in a long while, but that's not to say that the show isn't great or doesn't have any, merit to it, right? Okay, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it is still a heartfelt film, right? Just not a very, vibrant film. That's the best way I could describe it, right? So rating wise, like 3.5 out of 5, man. I would
Right.
say it's worth checking out.
Yeah.
Again, if you prefer your dramas to have more activity, that's the best way I could describe it. Yeah, you might find yourself just sort of bored by this, but no, I kind of like the quiet approach to it, man. Especially with these characters and what they're going through, And yes, you're right. I was impressed by the chemistry that Jennifer and Brian had on screen, right? Because yeah, I was
Yes.
a little concerned by that, right? And yeah, you could buy into these characters going through what they went through, feeling the way how they feel, and even the closing moments. I actually like, right? Not spectacular, but I like how it ends. It was cool, right? So yeah, not saying that Brian will win Best Supporting Actor for this, but I'm glad that the Academy at least acknowledged his role in this. Kind of think, honestly, just like me, a lot of people would have just let this show fly past the radar, even when Jennifer Lawrence started, right? If it wasn't for Brian Tyree Henry being nominated for Oscar in the first place, right? But yeah, I do hope that more people do check it out. 'Cause yeah, it is solid business, man. It's solid business.
Yeah.
And lastly, I do see a bright future as far as Lila as a director. I want to see her do more films. Maybe be a little bit more ambitious with her next projects and whatnot. I do hope that she does that, right? You can kind of see the theater vibe of it though when you really think about it, especially with the characters and whatnot and the acting. But yeah, she has a bright future in terms of directing, man. And again, I want to see Brian, star in more dramatic roles, and I do hope that we see more of Jennifer Lawrence, in the near future as well, man. So yeah, Causeway was fine, man. Yeah, you should check it
Yeah.
out.
No,
So
no,
yeah,
yeah.
you're fine. What's the rating?
Yeah, no, it's a decent conceit. As I said, I was just watching it on my Apple TV screen, and I didn't watch it for a hot minute, but I should have made the effort. And again, I'll admit I only watched it because my boy got a nomination. But yeah, it was a solid outing overall. Good first attempt by Jennifer Lawrence in terms of production. Like I'm impressed by that.
Yes.
And I said, as I say, the real horse in this race, in this streaming war race, quality wise, end up being Apple, right? Mostly because they're making money off of goddamn iPhones and trillionaire company or whatever. It is because of that bullshit, right? That's why they really have to cater to people and jump through hoops. That's why the quality of the material is so good, because they just care about the actual material. We could get into a debate about that, but later. Yeah, I dug it for what it was. Solid material overall. Yeah, rating. Yeah, give it like a close to 8 out of 10. Actually, it's quite high. More and more think about it. But I don't know if we're going to be best of the year or anything like that. But I have it in my list. So whatever.
All right.
Yeah.
And last but not least, let's talk about you people.
Oh boy.
What you mean, you people, right?
So listen, I see you say, wait, this boy, guess who's cringing to that or something like that.
Yeah.
I just want to straight up start before we start. You already know my feeling of this. I don't understand how you could fuck this up more than Ashton Kutcher and Bernie Mac. Like, we got this before.
So long, I honestly forget about that movie, boy.
Right.
Wow.
And I think this movie worse than that. And I thought that was real shit. That was real shit, and this is worse. And I'll tell you why I think it worse, but we'll get into that. Yeah, go ahead.
Right, but good thing you bring up 2000s comedies, boy, because that is what we had to bring up here in this conversation here. 2000s comedies, 2000s romantic comedies, 2000 comedies involving, families and meeting the parents. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
But yeah, pre-ramble time, right? So, yeah, this is a new film coming out of Netflix. It's directed by Kenya Barris, you know what I mean, of Blackish fame, right?
Right.
Um, for me, the reason why I wanted to see this is, Eddie Murphy, right? Because I think the last time I saw him on screen was literally a few Christmases ago with his appearance on SNL, right?
Right.
I actually one of the more better appearances of that season, in my opinion, right? But yeah, I was just kind of curious to see, okay, is Eddie Murphy, he actually made a killing a few years before that now with, Dolomite is My Name, honestly, one of the best comedies of the 2010s, bar none, right? Which was, and also a Netflix release, right? So it's like, all right, well, yeah, Eddie Murphy in a new stage of his career, right? He's not going for the Hollywood praise anymore. He's doing these Netflix releases, and yeah, as an older, comic actor, he could show, that even at his age, he could still bring the laughs and the guffaws, right? But when I saw Jonah Hill, I was like, and I mean, all right. So I'm not gonna shit all over Jonah Hill, right? I mean, the
Right.
man is what it is. He is who he is. Sorry, he has starred in some great films. Case in point, Wolf of Wall Street. Some may
I
say
like him enough.
Moneyball. Yeah. But what I mean, in terms of like both comedic and dramatic roles, like, because yeah, we know him for the comedic roles. We laugh at him just as this goofy looking, Jew guy, whatever. But the man brought the laughs, right, back in the 2000s, right? Where there's like stuff like Superbad, or even like, or Knocked Up, or even like 21 Jump Street and stuff like that, right? Especially This Is the End, though. Like, I thought he was great in This Is the End. I love This Is the End, right? But yeah, when it comes to his dramatic roles, I don't seek out his dramatic roles, to be honest, right? But I heard he has done some great stuff, over the past few years, right? So I was surprised that this show is gonna pair him with a legend, with a veteran like Eddie Murphy, right?
Right.
But then when I saw the premise, I was like, okay, we doing this now.
Yeah.
All right, and even though it's Stan McGill or in London, which honestly was one of the another reason why I watched this. I mean, just to be honest, but but really, really, the reason why I wanted to see this was Eddie Murphy, right? And I'll talk about Eddie Murphy's, humor in a bit, right? But yes, Ricardo, what is You People about?
Right. So it's the press is a very explicitly Jewish man. Uh, want to be part of the culture, and then he meets up with a black woman. He's being courted by his parents. The one saving grace of this is Julie Louis-Dreyfus as the mom. She's great. But
Yeah, well, compared to who plays the father, David
but
Duchovny,
he did.
um,
He doesn't
yeah,
do
yeah,
much.
Julia had more to do, right?
She had more
David
to
was
do.
just,
I mean,
yeah,
both of them were
David
fine, but she
was kind
was
of
quite good
sidelined.
because of what was written for her. Yeah. So it's
But go on.
right. Now we can talk about it. Again, it's I'm not getting into it because we had to talk about the writing. Writing is atrocious, but whatever.
Yeah,
But whatever. So yeah, there's he Ezra, he podcasts, and he does making a little bit of money and whatever it is, and he's very Jewish, but he don't like his Jewish life apparently, or whatever it is. And so he gets into the idea of, well, dealing with just a black family, and what that has to do with anything, and him with the culture, and it's just guess who's coming to dinner, going for it. So he meets Mo, and talks about how he have to deal with this girl and thing, and then eventually they get to meet the family and get engaged and married, and the whole culture clash with both peoples, and that is basically him having to deal with the typical soft power slash let's call it by microaggression nature of white people and black people in LA. And that's
yeah.
the story.
Specifically in LA, right?
Right.
Also, just sorry to cut you there. Mo is the friend of Jonah Hill's character, Ezra.
Right.
You have a
Right.
podcast together.
Right.
Nifty idea, I must say, but not original as far as podcasts do, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah, whereas a Jew, a white Jew basically, and a black woman, talking about race relations, right? And all that kind of stuff, right? Yeah.
And yeah, so it's all of that, and yeah, basically it's just him having to clash with the father, and they have a black party situation, and then the father having a big black power meltdown apparently, and we get into it. Have a bunch of guest stars that I like, Dion Cole, he's pretty good in this, and Elliot Gould is pretty good in this, and Rhea Perlman and Mike Epps, and it's one of these things that I really,
My caps on the fence with, but I'll get to that. But go on.
but no, but as I say, what I'll tell you two reasons why I get mad at this. This should have been so much fucking better. It is so
Thank you.
incredibly, it is so incredibly lazy from a script standpoint, and with all this talent, nah, man. That is why I couldn't handle this, because like, given what the opportunity they had, is the laziest fucking bullshit they could have put out, Jared. And I just had zero patience for that kind of thing, man. Like, this could have been so much better, right? Given what was set up, and like, this is what we get, Jared. Nah, boy. Anyway, yeah, that's the story. It's just black and white, but like Jewish and black, especially in the context of Kanye West or whatever it is. Jews and blacks have to talk, whatever it is, and it's microaggressions and money and wealth and massively squandered opportunity going forward. But that's how I feel about it. Yeah, go ahead.
I have to do this side before I go into this, right? So yes, you are right though, with the talent that is on screen here, because I'll get to the good now, right? With the talent on screen here, this show could have at least given them a better script to work with, right? I would say that everybody pretty much commit to what they're given, right? Whether it's Jonah Hill, who was not bad, he was actually quite likable and relatable and believable.
I get what he was going for, with him being kind of degenerate in his own way. Like he's in his mid-30s and he's like that.
Yeah.
I get it. I get what they're going for, but is total nonsense as a conceit. But again, is the idea of money and wealth and a person like that getting through in life. Like you shouldn't be a person that you should respect at all, in my humble opinion. But the movie frames him as this good guy somewhat. Like what? I find the values and what they're trying to, I don't know what the message you're going for, but it seemed to be an incredibly confused message. However, go ahead.
No, I understand what you mean. Yeah. Because he is a flawed individual, right?
Yeah.
And on paper, him hooking up with somebody like Lauren London's character, Amira, should not work. It should not work, right?
Right.
But the show really goes out of its way
to sell that,
and to sell that they should be together. And here the with me, right? Like, I'm not no connoisseur when it comes to romantic comedies, right? So I'm not gonna say, oh well, Jonah and Lauren didn't have any chemistry on screen and blah blah blah, right? But they really went out of their way, admittedly, right, to sell you the fact that, all right, somebody like her, who actually does deserve better, they actually show a little instance of that early on in the film. Hooks up with a guy like him, right? I'm not saying that Ezra is trash, right? But there's still stuff about him that on paper, stuff about him on paper where it's like, nah, this really shouldn't work though,
Right.
And that's even before they even meet each other's parents, right? So yeah. But other than that, though, just getting back to the cast, right? Yes, I mean everybody, what they're given, do what they had to do, right? Whether it's Eddie Murphy or Julia Louis-Dreyfus, David Duchovny, right? Who, again, I just felt he was just sidelined. He was just there for a few moments. There was this one really cringy moment with him and a piano and a song he was singing. Right. And I will talk about 2000s comedies in a bit, right? But the song that he sung is so goddamn 2000s. I mean, it's a classic. I love the song, but to have that and have that be a joke in a 2022 made and 2023 release film is like, why are we doing this, right? I was surprised to see Nia Long. I was like, hey, you in this, right? Yeah, cool. And she's playing Amira's mother, right? And I was surprised by the cameos, right? Whether it's Dion Cole or Elliot Gould or Rhea Perlman, right? I even see Miguel Lala Anthony. I was like, hey, you in this? Still looking fine as well. Nice, okay, right? Anthony Anderson. I was like, hey, you in this? Okay, right, cool. But Mike Epps still, like, not saying he shouldn't be in the show though, but what they give him, boy, was just these flat jokes. It's just
terrible.
It's cringe. It's cringe jokes.
You know what? They make the usual mistake. There's a common mistake. I don't know why. I don't know when they start, but I don't know when it started. Like it started in 2010s. I'm not sure, but this idea that you're just relying on the improv skills of the actors for the humor material instead of writing material for them properly. Right, it's that they keep doing that a lot, and I was like, you have to write material proper and then see if they could fit and make it. Don't use them as a crutch, right? Yes, they're very talented people, right? Talented, and everybody talking about them, whatever it is. But you still need to put them in a space where they could really flourish. You still need the soil now, and that's the problem. every beat in this humor-wise just don't work. Like little simple
No.
thing, like when I forget the actor's name, but he the boss in the beginning where they had this.
Oh gosh, he's one of those guys who have those faces like I know you from a show, but I can't remember who he is.
But yeah, he and Ezra have an open interaction. That could have been very funny if you're not right, because it's a good scenario of Ezra just being super awkward. It sets up Ezra's character immediately, and also it sets up just a funny scenario of how to do awkwardness, right?
Mm.
But when it just come across like just some lazy super bad shit. That's what it come across. Like.
Speaking of Superbad, right? And I enjoy Superbad. I haven't watched it in a long while, but I enjoy Superbad, right?
Right.
But there's a second encounter between the two, right? Similar scenario, right?
Okay.
Involving praising each other's penis lengths and whatnot. It's like, hey, you know what I mean, big guy with a big dick, man. Yeah. And you could say, well, it just shows the comedic timing of the actors that they could do improv. But that scene, even though it plays, or it runs for like about a minute and a half too long, Trent. It's just the same joke, just going back and forth, back and forth. Oh, isn't it funny that the employee is kind of trying to, give his boss a bly and compliment it on his dick and whatnot. That's a joke, and it just keeps going and going and going. You just say like, why, right? But yeah. So I get the good out of the way. That's the acting, right? So sorry, the actors, right? And what they brought to the table, right? So on to the bad boy. Writing, yes, you're right. This is lazy, boy. But I wouldn't say just lazy though. It feels archaic though. It feels like some shit from the 2000s. It's a good thing that you brought up. Guess Who, right?
Guess Who, yeah.
Yeah, starring Ashton Kutcher and the late great Bernie Mac, right? Which in itself is a remake of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, right?
And
you saw the same
I thought that movie back then was shit. Back then.
I skipped that movie.
Yeah.
With I did my damnedest to avoid watching that movie.
I saw that with a friend, and I just could not believe how fucking terrible that was. And I was like, that pissed me off. When I saw that with her, I was like, what the hell, but like a real waste time here, boy. Like that movie I pick, eh?
Yeah.
I was thinking, boy, Bernie Mac, but yeah, right, God, before you see the Portier story, they could flipping it, they're making it interesting. And they just fucked that up so badly, yeah? Whatever.
Yeah. So another show I'm gonna bring up, right? Kind of obvious. Meet the Parents.
Right.
Back in 2000, it was funny. It was funny, especially with Ben Stiller and
the first one.
And how he bounced off with Robert De Niro, right?
Yeah.
So many jokes don't work at all, especially like Ben Stiller's name, if you know the show. Yeah, like back in 2000, oh my God, like people were cracking up, right? I saw this all ages PG advice, right, at cinema. No, you're like,
I get it, yeah. Time pass,
right. But just to touch on that dynamic now, that is the same thing that we get with Ezra and Eddie Murphy, right? Who plays Akbar, right? So Eddie Murphy is this hard-ass, father.
Right.
I haven't seen Guess Who, right? So I assume it's the same character that Bernie Mac played, right? The hard-ass father, this devout Muslim. It's like, you know what? I can't see my daughter being with this white Jew, and I'm just gonna keep berating you with all these comments about white people and Jews and all that kind of stuff. You see it in full detail with the Guess Who's Coming to Dinner scenario, the dinner scene, right? Yes. Which is beyond cringe, right? My God, right? Shout out to Julia Louis-Dreyfus for holding it down, right? But like even the lines that she gave was just bad, though. And what we just say in a nutshell, without spoiling anything, is just the back and forth. It's just these, you think black people had it bad. What about us with Jews, right? And it's the you saying that the Holocaust is bad, it is worse than slavery, and it's just these back and forth conversations about race and history. And like, all right, like back in the 90s and early 2000s, yes, that would have made for solid humor, and just like a wealth of humor, right, that you could have got out of it. But we're in the 20s, why are we bringing this up still?
Update it. No, yes,
you're right.
I'm not the biggest fan. I'm not the biggest fan of.
It's just old jokes. I felt right. Yeah. Oh, you had it worse. Well, let me tell you how he had it worse, right? It's
exactly. Look, I'm not the biggest fan of Blackish and Grownish or whatever it is, but I think those shows. I honestly
never watch those shows, but
right?
They're good.
Yeah, they're okay. But that's the thing. I was just getting to the idea that those shows at least feel like a somewhat updated conversation when it comes to race in the United States now. Like. That's the thing. The main thing is that they just feel like to borrow from Eddie Murphy, an old Eddie Murphy bit. Like it just feel like something, they just dust off an old script, didn't worry to update it in any way, and then tell a bunch of new people just to do it. That's how it come across. And they thought people would like let us slide now. I'm like, no, you had to update this bullshit. Sorry.
Exactly.
Especially with a topic like this now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because like even now with the cultural and social climate in the States, right? Especially when it comes to identity, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much smart ways that you could address race, right?
Yeah.
And race relations as well too, right? But here the show kind of treats it like, oh my God, this Jew wants to hook up with this black girl. Oh no, right?
Yeah.
Even if the show is not blatantly saying that, right? The way how Amira's parents treat it is just like, oh my God, we can't have this happen, right? But yeah, I agree. You could make it contemporary, you can make it fresh. Is this blink in the moment attempt at making its comments fresh is that one guy, one of his one of the guys that Ezra used to line with at the wedding shower, sorry, at the wedding itself, was talking about how I think either he or Ezra was. Oh no, sorry, he was involved in the January 6th United States in the Capitol
Right.
attack.
That's kind of
And
a funny joke.
well, Ezra tried to stop me, and
Right.
that's the joke.
So again,
Okay.
kind of a funny joke or idea. But you're gonna do something out in terms of a bit, like you could have built from it. Again, I just complain about punching up because that's what's so frustrating about this. With just a run, it works as a kind of first draft, but just 2 or 3 writes could have really make it work, and it's a real
Agreed.
shame.
Yeah.
Real shame. Whatever.
All right. So a few things for you, right? And I'll get a little spoilery, right? So you'll be warned, right? But yeah, dude, just the relationship with Ezra and Akbar was cringe, though.
Cringe.
Now
Terrible.
again, the show again,
I'm basing any movie talent like that,
Yes, because yes, for his role, like performance wise,
Yes.
he is good. He's really good in this, right?
Yeah.
But just the lines that he have to give, though, is just like, oh, why, boy?
Why?
There's one moment, right? I have to spoil this, right? The moment. So you talk about needle drops for a bit, right? Because yes, there's some songs that appear, right? Some songs work, others kind of don't. So, like case in point, because they're in LA, they had to drop some old school gangster rap. So you hear MC8, you hear Ice-T 6 in the morning for reasons. I don't know why that was there, but I mean, these songs are classics. So I was like, all right, but yeah, I love the song, but why is it there? I don't know, right? But yeah, there's a moment involving Ezra and Akbar, boy, where like I just roll my eyes, just like sighing while I was watching this, right? So needle drops, right? So yes, he was hearing some gangster rap songs here or there, right? But there's a moment involving Ezra and Akbar's car, right? And I have to spoil this, right? So Akbar plays Niggas in Paris, right?
Right.
The moment I hear the song, I was like, I know the joke.
Right.
I know the joke. And what the joke is that Akbar said, Ezra said, it's like Akbar said, hey, you know this song? It's like, yeah, man, like I love this song, man. Like I love this song, right? She's like, yeah, so what's the name of it? Ezra's like, yeah, what is what? I think it's something in Paris. I think it's, something like in Paris. Like he know he does not want to say the N-word, right? The moment I heard the song, but I heard, I know the joke. And they play it out, and it keeps going and going. Even when they keep cutting back now to Amira and Shelly, because they have a similar moment as well too, right?
Right.
And but that didn't really land as it didn't have me cringing as much as all that, because I wasn't really familiar with the song all that much. I think I know what it is, but it's like I don't really know the context of it. But it was just Julia again, Julia doing her thing, but just her character was just annoying, it was just and. Just to move away from that a little bit, right? Because I could talk about how bad that Ezra and Akbar driving scene is for these, right? Again, going with the beats of the genre, right? Like how I said earlier, with how the show goes out of his way to sell the fact that Ezra and Amira deserve to be together, right? I would admit the moment near the end where the parents are called out for the bullshit and their lack of thinking, I appreciate that. It's too little, too late in my opinion, but I can appreciate that. Like I appreciate the show kind of suffer where you have to say, okay, we've given you all this bullshit, so now we have to kind of you have to say, okay, we're done with this. We have to kind of justify everything, right? So that's that moment, right? And how it ends is cliche, but it's like, all right, I get, okay, you're going by the genre, all right, I understand, right? On paper, it should work, but it kind of does in the film, right? It is what it is, right? But it's like it's trying to warm our hearts up in the end, right? And forgive me for being cynical, right? But it does that, right? But you just have to go through all this bullshit to get to that ending, Dread. And that's the unfortunate thing about it, right? You have to go through all this bullshit. You have to go through all this outdated writing, outdated jokes, stuff that could have been a lot more clever in the 2020s if you just punch up the script. You have to wade through all that water now just to get to the ending, right? And it's just unfortunate, man. And it just, it kind of just slaps the viewer in the face, right? Because, because at the end of the day, we go into this wanting to see a really, like, smart romantic comedy that touches on race and race relations, right? But again, what we get here is just tired, drawn out, jokes that just fall flat, waste the talents of his waste the talents of his cast, whether it's from Jonah Hill, all the way down to Mike Epps, in my opinion. I mean, my God, what they do with Mike Epps, boy, right? But even he himself get a little moment of clarity and says something to Akbar, and it's meant to be like, yes, it's the film being aware now, okay, right? But to me, it was just too little, too late, man. So yeah, squandered opportunity here across the board. But this could have been so much better. This had all the right materials, I would say, to make a great romantic comedy, something that could kind of stand out this decade, boy. But nah, this just felt like a throwback of old 2000s. Yes, I call them old, right? 2000s romantic comedies. And the shit that I don't even remember. You brought up Guess Who. I honestly forgot about Guess Who, right? That's a show. How timeless that movie is, right? And same thing goes with Meet the Parents. Yes, it had some jokes in it, and Ben Stiller and Robert De Niro was funny in it, but you would see me watching that in a hurry because them jokes they're gonna land in the 2020s. I'm sorry, right? But yeah, squandered opportunity though. I applaud the effort, boy. But yeah, this could have been so much better, boy. So yeah, rated wise for me, just give it a rated one time, boy. Yeah, strong 2 out of 5, boy. I want my money back, but I want my time back. And dog, this show runs for way too long. I would say, because this is 108, close to 2 hours. This easy could have been an hour and 40 minutes or hour and a half tops. This did not need to be this long, thread, right? So at the end of the day, I would say if you enjoy romantic comedies, you might like this, right? You might like seeing Jonah and Lauren together, and if you like that kind of stuff, cool. But you're not going into the show just to see them hook up and not hook up and come back together, right? It's about the parents, right? It's about the guess who's coming to their scenario, right? And in the 2020s, they could have done so much more with that premise, right? But just like Guess Who, as it brought up here, yeah, just another waste of time, just another squandered opportunity, just another attempt at reinventing that premise, which was done so well back in 1967. Think about that, right? And yet nobody up to this point could really do anything great to modernize it, man, which is a shame, right? But yeah, you people kind of sucked, man. Actually, not kind of sucked, it sucked. And even with the heartwarming stuff and the heartfelt and self-aware stuff near the end, again, you just had to go through all this bullshit and oh, it's funny that you're white, and oh, it's funny that you're black jokes, just to get
it's straight up that old Simpsons bit of black people do this, white people do that, like they making fun of the comedian, and then Homer Simpson laughing. Oh, they really do that. That's what it was.
Yeah, exactly. I talked long enough about this. Yeah, one of the biggest disappointments of the year, man, and definitely you'll see this in my worst stuff coming years end, man. So yeah, your final thoughts and anything else you want to say about this shit, and yeah, written.
Yeah. Again, the frustrating part is just too much good talent in a bad place. Again, I hate when they waste talent like this. I wasn't super hyped for this or anything like that, right? It's just like I hear the movie, Jonah Hill doing it, Eddie Murphy, cool, right? Julia Louis-Dreyfus, cool. And to see all these guest stars in it, I'm like, okay, I expecting some workable thing, but they just complete half-assing it. Hate when they do that. That's the main sin of this. They could have done so much more given the subject matter and how supposedly serious they taking it. Well, they're not taking it seriously at all, and they half-ass it. So yeah, rating, I give it like closer to 3 out of 10, maybe closer to 2. Waste some more time. Sorry, I kind of hated it.
Yeah, so Netflix do better, man. The genre of romantic comedy, do better, please.